we've got a new DPS mechanic in Burn. And we're going to go down in order, except I really want to look at this guy first. His base attack is 1,700, almost 1,800. You know, base HP of almost 40k seems high. And defense of like 12, right? Increases all odds attack by 30% in all battles. That's just a basic attack buff. We already seen that. I'm pretty sure Felicity has that. His passive. Basic attacks deal additional fire damage to the enemies in 3 adjacent tiles in front of him. When the basic attack deals damage to enemies under Burn, that's our new mechanic, guys, is Burn. It's a debuff. We've seen it before. It was in Season 0, and apparently they needed to do some tweaks to it. And we see it in the bosses. The Fire Domain boss uses Burn. And it works similar to the way hers does. Increases the hero ultimate energy by 5%. Yes, and when you click on details, it's going to show that it's based off for attack. 50% of attack for this passive. So that doesn't seem like a lot, but this is a passive. He's just doing extra damage to enemies around, and if they have Burn, he gets ultimate energy. Wrath of Lava. It's around him. So this is a melee unit, obviously, with the hands. His battle skill is going to be a diamond shape around him with him at the center. 350 of attack. Not super crazy. But here we get to see what Burn does. So let's take a point in that. Invokes explosions at the carrier's position every 10 seconds, consuming 1 stack of Burn and dealing 140% of attack. Derivative fire damage. Now this is a point. We haven't seen much derivative damage in fire yet. Burn is. Surrounding enemies, Burns can add up to 10 stacks. We're looking at some really powerful AoE. He's got a 75% chance to inflict 1 stack of Burn for 10 seconds with his battle skill, and it books up to 100. So this guy can definitely put burns on the enemy. And it's on a 10-second cooldown because he's booked up, right? So booked up, 100% chance, 10 seconds cooldown is going to constantly burn it. So it already seems like he'll be able to enable burn for another burn user and himself very easily. Alright, we're going to look at Detonation. Full board. Dispels all enemy burns and deals 500% attack, fire damage to them, then triggers blasts on all enemies with each enemy as the blast center. And then he'll deal an additional 190 attack damage to surrounding enemies for each stack of burn previously dispelled from the enemy. The blast damage is increased by 75%. So, when the burns tick, they do damage to the surrounding enemies, right? If you explode them with this ability, it'll do more damage than they originally would. And it's based on how many stacks they have. So if they have 1 stack that he enables himself, it'll do more damage. Great. If you have somebody else putting burns on the enemies, this is going to wipe a whole group of people easily. This is the Fire exclusive for Season 2, guys. He's going to be the one that you're not going to see in very many banners. He's going to be one that you want to get, and you want to get a dupe buff for his exclusive artifact. Inspiration 1 heals the hero by 8% max HP after killing an enemy. For each enemy on the field, the hero deals 4% more damage. This effect stacks up to 5 times. Crit rate 10%, crit damage 20%. Another plus 30% attack on 4. Alright, now 5. When casting an ultimate skill, every stack of burn removed will increase the hero's attack by 2% up to 20 times. This bonus applies to the current ultimate skill until the next ultimate is cast. Carve here, the One Eye. So we're looking here. He starts out at 1567 attack. It's a little bit higher defense. His HP is a lot lower. Fish in Troubled Waters. When the hero skill hits an enemy inflicted with burn, deals an additional 30% derivative damage, fire damage, to the enemies surrounding them. Alright, so we've got a 1 hit, hits 1 person, a 2 block range, strikes an enemy 6 times, each dealing just 30% of attack plus 200% enlightenment. He has a 35% chance of inflicting 1 stack of burn on them. You can book that up to 45. That seems low, but he does do it 6 times. Oh, Captain, my Captain, full board AoE. Bombards all enemies on the field 3 times, each dealing 200% attack, 1000 enlightenment fire damage with 60% chance of inflicting 2 stacks of burn. Alright, so there's Garth the One Eye. So, we're looking at Durham. He's got a little more attack than Karth. It's a 3x3 block. Whenever an enemy's burn is dispelled, triggered, or expired, deals 45% attack fire damage to the enemy and surrounding enemies. Another 3x3 on his battle skill. Locks on the top 3 onto 3 random enemies, not top, and fires missiles at each of them. Alright, each missile deals 90 fire damage to enemies with a range, with a 75% chance of inflicting 1 stack of burn on locked targets. Books to 100. So he'll enable some burns. Let's look at his ult. Diamond shaped. So Red Horizon, you're looking at a diamond shape, 160 attack, fire damage to enemies within range 3 times. Ignores 15% of the defense of enemies under burn. So you really need to make sure they're under burn. He'll grant himself 25 attack up and crit damage to all burned allies. Damage dealt to enemies with a shield is increased by 20. The hero gains 15% damage bonus when their HP is higher than 85%. 10% crit rate, 20 crit damage, 30% attack on 4. Number 5, ignores the target's resistance when inflicting debuffs or control effects on them with battle skill.